The Get On Living Safely campaign is sponsoring this podcast to remind you to keep your spending in the community. Supporting local businesses keeps food on the table for our friends and neighbors. Follow them on social media and learn more at getonlivingsafely.com. Nan Marshall is an artist working in metal, mixed media, and found pieces. We discussed her one-of-a-kind works, what goes into creating new work, how COVID has affected her business, and where people can find out more. You can find more conversations on our website, lacrosselocal.com. I'm Amy.
And I'm Brent.
And this is Lacrosse Local.
My name is Dan Marshall, and I was born in San Francisco, California. In 2017, a friend out of the blue invited me to take a metalwork jewelry class with her at the Bead and Button Show in Milwaukee. And I really enjoyed it, but I didn't do much with it until the next year when I took another class. And then I bought a bunch of equipment at the show and went home and set up a little table in my basement and got started. I started making things that people liked. And the next year, I joined the Viva Gallery in Viroqua as a member, and I've been there since.
So how do you go about creating new work? I mean, do you draw it out? Do you plan it? It sounds like you do some more options that people ask you to create. How is that process?
I like weird objects, found objects, recycled objects. I buy necklaces at Goodwill and take them apart and reuse the pieces. So yeah, there's not often that much planning. I just find a couple bits and pieces that I like and I lay them out, and then I start mixing and matching. Sometimes I'll go out and anneal metal. I usually use copper. I add color or I add pattern to it, and I see something and I cut it up and then mix it with some recycled tin or just some interesting bead or other type of object. Lately, though, I've been getting into silversmithing, where before I did mostly what they call cold connections. And now I'm doing soldering. And so the silver is pretty expensive, and some of the gems that I combine with it is a little more expensive. So I have started doing more sketching beforehand to make sure I don't waste the silver.
So kind of going from a process of finding these unique baubles in some sense, kind of putting those together, and now moving towards this more of a planned effort. Has this time for you, during COVID, has this affected your creativity? Has some of this process come out? I've talked to a lot of artists. Some of them have found a unique sense of creativity during this time. Some others just took a break and now they're jumping back into it. How has this process been for you?
I work, and so I had always wished that I had more time to make jewelry. And suddenly I had a lot of time, but I found myself distracted and unfocused. It was really hard for me to make anything. So for several months, I didn't make anything, but I recently signed up to take an online 6-month silversmithing class with Susan Lennart. And I thought that would sort of help push me forward into creating things again. And I've really gotten back in the swing of it and been really enjoying it now.
With the kind of, transition from the found objects to the silversmithing, what's next for you? Like, what are you looking forward to?
The silversmithing leads to me creating sort of perhaps bigger and certainly more expensive type of objects. And so I need to find a new market. Viroqua is a really small town. Not that there aren't people who would enjoy or could afford the pieces here, but so I need to start to find a way to reach out to a larger audience. I have sort of a whimsical style that's unusual, so it doesn't necessarily appeal to everyone. So again, I have to sort of reach out to find a wider audience. So I have a website now, and I've been on Facebook and Instagram more, just trying to learn how to reach out that way.
You reference whimsical. For someone who's never seen your work, and I'm looking at it now, and that definitely is a good expression of what it looks like. How do you explain it? Can you explain it kind of in a couple sentences?
Well, I kind of, some people call it bohemian or rustic. I feel like it has a bit of an ethnic bent to it. Just, I've traveled a lot, and so I kind of enjoy perhaps a bit of an Asian flair, but I was never good at doing things with straight lines. And so there aren't very many straight lines in my work.
So if someone wanted to take a look at your work, Can they actually work with you to build a piece, or is it pretty much what you see is what you get on your designs?
It's pretty much what you see is what you get, I think. If someone has an idea, I've worked with people on some custom ideas, but it's difficult depending on, what they have in mind. It's difficult to transfer what they have in their mind into my mind, I think.
So if people wanted to find out more about your work, from your earrings to your necklaces to your bracelets to your pins, where would they go?
Well, a good place would be my website, nanmarshalldesigns.com. I just put a new shop on the website. Also, Viva Gallery in Viroqua, which is about 45 minutes southeast of La Crosse in Wisconsin. It's kind of a fun town for people to come and visit. There are a lot of other artsy people. And then I've been posting on Instagram as well.
La Crosse Local Podcast is a production of River Travel Media. Do you have an interview idea you would like to share with us? Message us on Facebook at La Crosse Locals. Subscribe to the La Crosse Local Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We thank you for it.